Now I've decided it's time to talk a little bit about some texting etiquette, and I will be doing a word creation again to talk about a phenomena that I think is harmful. Well, harmful is probably a harsh word, just something that I don't like, basically because it's aesthetically displeasing, and it's something that I try to avoid when I'm texting people. And what it is, the thing that I try to avoid, is sending a message and then finishing that message by having an emoji by itself on a line to end the message. So you have like a wall of text, doesn't matter how many lines, like 1 to however many you go through. And then the last line of your text is just a singular emoji, like on the far left to start the next line, and there's nothing after that. I think personally that it looks hideous. It seems like just this little extra thing that's taking up way too much space. Seems a little unnecessary. You kind of have to make more of a gesture or probably just eliminate it entirely because the spacing discrepancy is just so bad from what it causes that it bothers me. And I don't really push this agenda on others very much because you don't always have to be like nitpicking yourself like I do. I don't really try to push that on people because I can do it enough for most people. But recently I was texting a girl.
What did he say?
A pretty girl, and I've been talking to her for a couple days. I've had one date, went very well, enjoyed it a lot, but I was texting her about this, and I think it actually came up like very early on once I got her number. And I'm even gonna put some examples on the screen of me like talking through and showing like what it looks like. And so these are actually some texts that I sent her, and she will remain anonymous at this time. But now you can just see like me doing it on accident because I was texting really fast and didn't really even look at what I was sending. So I had the singular emoji by itself on the last line, and I go into an apology right away. And then just make some clarifications and stuff like that. So it's something that like bothers me, so I try to avoid it. I don't typically mention it to others and make them adjust, but it just kind of slipped out, and I just was kind of trying to be goofy too. Anyway, the name for this type of text that I've come up with is going to be Solojiline. And Solojiline, combination of basically 3 ideas that smooth together pretty easily. I'm sure you'll pick them up, no problem. We've got solo to start because it's a solo emoji that's just on the line by itself. We're taking the JI from emoji, so it's Soloji to start with those 2 words. And then we end line at the end because it's the solo emoji on the line. So it's Solojiline. And I think that has a decent ring to it. You can get through it pretty effectively. I mean, it just makes sense and has hints and clues as to what the word actually means, which of course I do enjoy. So, if you want to describe this type of text, it is a Solojiline. I would say it's something you want to drastically avoid just because it aesthetically looks terrible. And if you don't decide to do that, honestly, it doesn't really matter at all. It's just the perfectionist in me that's like, okay, if I can make something even a little bit better, I have to. And if I don't, even if it doesn't bother anyone else, it will still bother me. So, kind of just have to do it when you're hardwired like that. But if you're like a normal person, you can kind of just disregard this and just know what to call it when you see it. Anyway, if you want to be a better texter and not send things that might subconsciously make people get an ick and be a little grossed out, just try to avoid those Solojilines, you know? Anyway, let's move on to the comment of the day. Now we had to do something that I was hoping not to have to do again. We got another K-Whip comment out here. He killed it, as always. But no one wants to hear from this guy, and that's become pretty apparent for a very long time, despite the fact that he is on top of absolutely everything. But we have to hear from him again, because Gavin actually did get a comment on yesterday's Daily Do. However, it was after I had kind of already put through all this video and made the comment myself, and it was probably past 11 p.m. at night as well. And then he had the audacity to use a dead word and not even use the first Wiplish word correction. But the man who seems to know how to perfectly describe every scenario says, comment section quieter than a squir squir. This artist. Practically as absent as my Kazants. And K-Whip sure is right about that. Month of Hardest has not been too good. It's basically only been Gavin stepping up in the comments of the day. I would like to see some variety, even though Gavin does typically do a good job. But I'm trying to spread the love, keep people engaged and interested, and that's what we're trying to do. So I'd love to see some more people playing my little game. But regardless, we power through. K-Whip, as always, with just apt Wiplish usage as well as context. So we're gonna have to give him a 219 out of 219. Light work for K-Whip. Now let's move on to the song of the day. Song of the day is Cigarettes by Oliver Tree. This is off of his brand new album that just came out, I believe, yesterday. The album is called Cowboy Tears. The only song that I don't think is amazing off this is California. And basically every other song is tremendous. Like, I really, really like this album. As I've said multiple times, Oliver Tree is just about the most guy-red dude out there, and just consistently finds a way to make amazing music. And Cigarettes is absolutely no exception. It's really talking a lot about cigarettes and just kind of the approach and oddity that they kind of are. And I personally have actually never smoked a cigarette, nor intend to. However, I still find this song very engaging and still kind of relatable, believe it or not. And then for the video of the day, we have a different type of jam because we've got the Inside the NBA crew just kind of rocking out at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I believe, because it's All-Star Weekend, and they are just killing it, doing some improvisational music of their own. And that's all we're going to cover for this Daily Do. Peace out.